I was kind of like, man, it's like we could almost swap heads except for the tattoos. And I'm like, the
Mhm.
same body almost like that I had when I was your age. I'm now a little bit more plump. So,
It, it's crazy because whenever I started, blowing up on social media, like the way I grew up, I was never around other people with disabilities. Like I was never in special classes or anything like that. And so I was just never around it. So it wasn't normal to me. And then when I started blowing up on social media, I met so many people through there that, have AMC. And I was just like blown away by just how different and like in severity the cases are. Like I noticed a lot of people, like it stunts their growth as far as like how tall they are and stuff. And I was just like, it just made me stop and think, like I could have it a lot worse than I do. So it made me, very thankful for, you know, that I don't have it worse than I do.
yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Melissa.
hello,
I was,
hello, everybody.
did you say
Hello,
Melissa's on here?
Yeah,
Facebook.
she's on Facebook.
Oh,
Hey, Melissa. Hey, Damon. Hey, guys. Sorry, we were yapping it up a storm while we were setting up. So, hello, hello. It is Together Tuesday, and we are joined by Ryan tonight. And before we get to Ryan, we just have a few announcements. We are, hold on, I gotta get my notes. Oh, wait. What day is it, Ted?
It's Taco Tuesday time.
It's
I mean,
Taco.
together Tuesdays, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's how can you pass on a Taco Tuesday?
That's
I
right. And guess what?
What?
This is what Bella brought back, or MJ brought
Oh,
back.
a little
So
Taco Bell.
needed sugar to get through the
Ah,
hour, so because I'm not feeling well, so I look like garbage, y'all. Anyways, so we are officially 21 days to conference. Is that right, Ted? Did I say that
yes.
right?
21 days.
And 18 days to Awareness Day. So you guys get your blue on, order your shirts. We have very few sizes left, but there are some sizes.
They are going
Um,
fast.
They are going fast, and I did take today off because I wasn't feeling well, so I am just a little bit behind. But tomorrow I'm going to knock out the rest of the orders, and they should be in the mail. Shop.amcsupport.org, and Ted, what is our promo code? Is it
do
blue
you have
for
any
M-
cards?
Blue
blue for
for
AMC?
AMC.
All right, so and the four is numerical. So if you're going
Yeah.
to shop tonight for your awareness shirts, don't forget to use
Blue for AMC.
that. Okay, guys, I'm excited to have our special guest today, Ryan. We're going to show his Born Different. I know a lot of you might have seen it, but a lot of you might not have. We're going to start with that to give people just about 5 minutes to start coming on. I know it takes a little bit, and then Ted's going to share all of Ryan's social links because I know that you guys probably already follow him, but just in case you don't have his TikTok, Instagram, what else is there? I think everything is just Ryan. Ryan, Allen Sharp, right? Ryan?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
awesome. Oh, you're so sweet. He's so sweet. The last time Ryan was us joined us was I think back in 2021 when Misha was doing our virtual meetings with our AMCers. So we are so glad to have you back. Ted, do you want to go ahead and cue up the video for our
Sure.
audience, and then we'll get started and talk with Ryan to see what he has been up to since, because this has been a while since his video showed.
Okay.
So
Go.
There are people that say some rude things. You have boomerang arms, or you look like someone that died and came back. I don't let anything get me down. I don't make any excuses. I've learned how to do so many things for myself over the years. I've lived here about 3 months. This is the first time I've ever lived on my own. Normally, I just have to put like things where I can reach them and kind of set them up. Like when I go to the bathroom, I can use the side of the cabinet to kind of get my pants up and down and stuff like that. I've been used to doing it. pretty much my whole life. So I'm Ryan. I'm 26. I was born with arthrogryposis in the joints in my arms and legs. They didn't develop all the way. It's basically just means that your joints are like fused together. I mean, I really don't know a whole lot about it. I just know that like it limits my mobility in my arms and my legs. But my legs actually bend a little bit. And the odd thing is that I can move my toes, but I can't move my fingers. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Man, now it's time to put my clothes on. And I need to make my bed. It was a struggle growing up and, you know, having to depend on family and other people to get around or, you know, change clothes and stuff like that. As I got older, I started figuring out how to do all these things. Oh, that's how I do that. I've always tried to find ways to do things on my own because I don't like asking people for help. But yeah, that's how I do that. Hey, Mom.
Hey, son. When he was born, I kind of explained it as he was folded in half. His legs were up by his ears. They took him out of me and he went straight to the NICU. They said that he wouldn't be breathing on his own, and he did. He was fine.
How old was I in that picture?
This was right after you were born. You were probably about 6 or 8 weeks old. As a baby, I mean, he was completely normal, except for the normal, quote unquote, normal things he couldn't do. He couldn't get up and crawl around. In the beginning, he scooted around on his bottom to get places, which is what he did at school. So they wanted him to use a wheelchair and have someone move him around, and he didn't want to do that. So we got him going on a walker, and he was able to keep up and do his own thing. I could scoot out of my pants and take myself to the bathroom, and I use my mouth to grab a lot of things. My mouth is basically kind of like hands for me. And I can't really use like a spoon or a fork, so I just have to eat like a dog is what I call it. I don't let anything get me down. I don't make any excuses. I've learned how to do so many things for myself over the years. Let me make a TikTok right quick. So I use my knuckles, and so I just go like this. One of my buddies came over one time, and it's always been a joke about me having a big head and little arms, like T-Rex thing. And he's like, you should upload a video of you acting like a dinosaur like you usually do. People just ate it up. I just hit 111,000 followers, and I have almost 1.4 million likes total. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, when people say the hateful comments, it makes me laugh. There's people that have said, oh, you have boomerang arms, or you look like someone that died and came back, and blah, 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 blah. And a lot is people are like, wow, you know, you're so inspiring and you're extraordinary. And like one time I went to the mall with my best friend, and like these two girls were like walking by, and they were like, oh my God, that's Ryan from TikTok. And like you would have thought I was like Justin Bieber or something, the way that they were acting about it. Yep. Ready to go party?
Let's do it. Get you ready.
I just had my birthday this past Monday a week ago, so I'm gonna go out and celebrate with friends.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to do much on his birthday. We're gonna go to the bar. I think they've got something big planned. Or sure. Cool.
Let's roll. The question that I get asked a lot is, well, if you could have surgery to fix it, would you? And like, no, I don't think so, because it makes me who I am as a person, being born like this. He has a great positive outlook, and he's gotten so far with that. His heart is the size of Texas, though. We live in such a hateful world, and, you know, people are just so rude to each other. And I think that the biggest thing I always tell people is don't live your life based around other people's opinion about you. At the end of the day, you know, we all go in the ground by ourselves. So you just need to be true to yourself.
I love that. I love that.
The video is weird to watch. It's so like it's just like so old. I can't believe it's been like 3 years since I did that video.
Yeah, so what
Drinking
have you
warm
been
water
up
before bed,
Ooh,
balances
sorry.
blood sugar levels, and reverses type
Sorry,
2.
hold on. I don't know.
Thousands of people.
to?
Those dang YouTube commercials
Yes,
drive me
commercials
crazy.
come right after that.
Sorry about that.
Be-
Just kept going.
I'll be cleaning and I'm trying to jam my music on my TV and then those commercials and they're like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, yes. So what have you been up to since, Ryan? It's been a while since that video.
Yeah, I just moved into my new apartment about 3 weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, something like that, which is a lot nicer of apartment than the one that was in that video. I work for Allstate. I'm a hiring manager and I'm also on the dialer. So I call people and try to get them a quote on their insurance. I'm that guy that calls you and you know, hang up on me or cuss me out. So I do that every day. I you know, now that my son's out of school, because I have a 6-year-old son, now that he's out of school, I do week on, week off with his mom. So he's actually here right now in his room. We hang out, make food together, play video games, usually around this time after I'm done with work and everything. That's pretty much it. There hasn't really been much change. Just kind of some upgrades in my life as far as I'm now working and able to live a little bit more comfortably. And I have way more than 100,000 followers now on TikTok. I have 1.4 million. So that's always a plus. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much just the same old, same old.
So Ryan, how long do you take like to out of your days and I guess your weeks? Like, do you spend a lot of time content creating? I'm really interested to figure out how you come up with your ideas too.
I used to hit it pretty heavy with making videos. I was super excited about doing it all the time. But then they kind of switched up the algorithm and now they will like push other people's stuff. With having a disability, posting things about your disability is hard on social media because I feel like a lot of it gets flagged on there. For example, there's a lot of videos I've posted that have been taken down, and I think that they think I'm making fun of people with disabilities. They don't realize that no, I actually have a disability. But yeah, to answer your question, you know, since I started working, by the time I get done with work, I mean, I make over 400 calls a day. So by the time I get done with work, I'm just exhausted and I usually don't make as many videos as I used to. It's kind of one of those things, if I see something that I can like stitch that, you know, I think is funny, or if a lot of my videos stem from like people's dumb comments, like the things that they say to me or ask me, like, how do you sleep? I mean, it just baffles me the things people say, but those are usually the videos or the comments that I'll make videos to. And they usually, you know, get a pretty good audience. So it's just, yeah, like I said, I don't do it. I'm not as into it as I was, you know, a year ago. I mean, I still do it. I'll still post videos here and there, but it's not really my main focus. I mean, I make more money working a full-time job and, you know, I got bills to pay. I got a son to take care of, you know, so my main focus right now is just working as much as I can and spending every day trying to be a better man, a better father. You know, I'm a first time parent, you know, so I'm learning as he learns, you know, and we butt heads a lot because I'm very stuck in my ways and he's sick and you know, but it's a learning process for both of us and he's my best friend. So that's really my main focus.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think one of the latest videos I was watching is somebody asked you how do you breathe? Is that what it was? And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, your comeback was great for that.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't talk about that video on
No,
on
you
here.
definitely shouldn't. But that was really like I know that a lot of our AMCers like we you know make light. We make light. So it's really good to see you in good spirits and really taking some of those harsh comments that people make to you and you just turn it around on them. And I think that's why your audience and your comments, like it's just true nature to what you have brought to the table on social media for our families and obviously your audience. So
Thank you. And that's really my biggest thing is I don't care about all the whiny adults and all their excuses. My main focus is like the kids. Like I know what a struggle it was being a child, and you know, I wasn't as always as mobile as I am now. You know, it took years of teaching myself how to do things. And you know, what I love most about making videos is when, you know, like you said, there's been parents that reach out to me and they have kids that have, whether it's AMC or some kind of other physical or mental difference. You know, there's been times where they've told me like, hey, you know, my son, he saw a video how you change your shirt and now he's in his room and he's trying to do that. You know, like that means so much more to me than getting recognized in public or people following me or, you know, whatever. Like if I can make a difference, you know, in a child's life and help them for, you know, when they get bigger, you know, I want them to feel as independent as they can. And if I can help, you know, in any way, whether it's meeting with them and their parents in person or just them seeing my videos, then, you know, that really means a lot to me. And I think that ultimately that's the most important thing and it's what matters.
absolutely. And I think the how-to videos that you do are just perfect. I mean, it really helps our community. I know you have a large following, you know, within our community of moms, dads, and AMCers themselves. So I know that those are very helpful. I mean, maybe not as big of a viewer count, you know, as your funny ones too. But I will tell you, they are definitely appreciated. You know, just being able to show how you put the shirt on, how you drink your water bottle, like what you just did. That's really helpful to our community members to see that, you know, live or on TikTok.
Thank you. I think that I say this a lot, but it's like crazy to me. I get a lot of negative comments, but when I get like the positive ones, it's crazy to me that the things that I do every day that are so simple to me, like if you wake up in the morning and you take yourself to the bathroom, like that's just a normal thing for you. If I wake up in the morning and I go to the bathroom, or if I'm changing my shirt, obviously I don't demonstrate how I go to the bathroom, but
Right.
if I'm showing how I change my shirt, that's so simple to me because I do it every day. I'm used to it now. But somebody else sees me doing that and they're just like, wow, like I can't believe I ever make excuses about anything because look at what this guy has to deal with and look at how, you know, he has to get his shirt on and off. And so I just think it's super cool that that me being myself is able to open people's minds to how easy a lot of people have it, or, you know, sometimes we take advantage of things. And so I just think that that's super cool.
Right. Now, have you ever met anyone with AMC before, Ryan?
Not in person. Whenever I was younger, my mom took me to Scottish Rite Hospital, which here in Texas, that's like a huge hospital for kids with disabilities. And she met a lady there who had a son who had the same thing as me, and he's a year younger than me. So we met when we were babies, and I think we're friends on Facebook, but we haven't like met since we were babies, you know. So,
Right.
but I've never seen anybody else with it like physically in person. No.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So your next venture is definitely going to have to join us at conference where there's hundreds of AMCers.
Y'all need to bring it to Texas, and I absolutely will.
Yes, I know. We've been trying to get back there. We did our second conference in Texas, and it's been a while. So it's on our list to look at. So hopefully.
Yeah, it's just travel's kind of hard for me, and also with working a 9 to 5 every day, I can't really take a lot of time off. So, but if it was something that was local, you know, it would be a lot more convenient.
Yeah.
And I would 100% love to come and meet everybody and the kids and, you know, things like that. So.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we do talk about a lot on Together Tuesday, I guess you could say, is what are some of like maybe your biggest challenges living with arthrogryposis?
I don't know. Probably, well, being in Texas in the summertime, you take a shower and walk outside just to start sweating and basically take another shower in your own sweat. So, probably if I go outside, I'm hanging out with my son or, just walking around outside or something, I start sweating. It makes it very difficult to get my pants up and down. When they just stick to you and you can't use your arms, because usually I use my bed and I can just scoot out of my shorts. But being when you're all hot and sweaty, it's very hard to get your pants down. That's probably the biggest challenge that I face. Everything else I pretty much have figured out. And I mean, I have my son here with me most of the time too. So I basically joke and, I basically say he's my arms for me. I'm like, hey, River, get this cup for me or this bowl or get that food for me or whatever. So, I pretty much have a system down, and like with him, it's super cool because he just adapted to my situation so easily. So I really don't even have to ask him for things. He's very, I'll do it for you, Dad. I'll get it. I might take a little advantage of that sometimes if I don't want to get it. But I pretty much have everything figured out, other than when you're super hot and you're trying to get your clothes off to go to the bathroom or take a shower or whatever. And if anybody on here that's watching, they live in Texas, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I have people say, hell, even when your arms work, it's still hard to get your clothes on and off when you're that sweaty in Texas. So yeah,
I think it's pretty common for AMCers to be sweaty and have that same challenge as well.
And I can attest to that in South Carolina.
Oh yeah. So he knows about that humidity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. All right. So the tough questions that we also ask on Together Tuesday. What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably things are going to be okay. You're going to figure it out. Maybe try not to be so high strung and just, let the chips fall where they may. Be a little more grateful for the things that you do have. I think with having a physical disability and getting stressed out about not being able to do things, if you take it too far, it can kind of put you in a negative headspace for a little bit. So I try to get better about like controlling getting upset with myself and like knowing, hey, it's going to get taken care of one way or the other. So I'd probably just tell myself, have a little bit more patience and just trust the process.
Trust the process. I try to tell my kids that all the time. Have you all?
Kids don't listen.
No, they don't. I can attest to that. Have you had any challenges as a dad and being an AMCer?
Oh yeah, when my son was first born, I mean, trying to learn to take care of him physically was a challenge. I can say, and I know this sounds kind of gross or whatever, but I can say that back then when he was a baby, he's almost 7 now. I could probably change a diaper a lot faster, like as far as the straps. I could probably change a diaper a lot faster with my mouth than most people can with their hands. But that was a challenge to figure out. And, trying to carry him, I finally got to the point where I would just put him in onesies and I would just carry him around like a baby cub. I would just bite him and, that's how I would pick him up.
Oh.
I always made sure we were close to something that was soft, that I wasn't going to drop him and hurt him. But that might be what's wrong with him. I probably dropped him too many times.
I love that.
But no, I pretty much figured it out. And like I said, he just naturally adapted to my situation. So that's made it, super easy. And now, I mean, he takes care of himself. I just have to tell him, quit eating your boogers and stop leaving every light in the house on. But other than that, he's, got it all figured out, and we work really well together. And, like I said, he helps me now probably more than I help him. So yeah.
Stop eating your boogers, River. I love that.
These dang kids, these kids.
Yes, yes. Um, so we do have a lot of parents, Ryan, that either follow you on socials or really, um, they obviously in the community have a lot of questions for our adult AMCers. What message would you have for them, especially our new parents who are raising brand new AMCers and they're going through the first year of challenging times, hospital visits, therapy visits, et cetera, et cetera.
To be completely honest, I would probably tell them don't have surgeries, a bunch of different surgeries on your child, unless it's absolutely necessary. And I say that because whenever I was younger, my parents were very close to getting surgery done on my legs and stuff, and they actually met someone that had my disability, and the surgery went wrong, and he actually ended up being in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Now I get it, every situation's different, but I feel like I with me, I always tried to be as independent as I could and teach myself how to do things. So I feel like every kid deserves that chance. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say without coming off as rude, because I'm not trying to be rude at all. But like, I feel like don't try to force anything upon them. Just let them figure it out for themselves. It's honestly kind of like a baby, or like a regular baby. You're going to fall down, you're going to get hurt, things are going to happen over and over and over again, but eventually, they're going to figure it out for themselves. I get it. Some people with AMC might be in a wheelchair. Because like I said, when I started blowing up on TikTok and I saw all these different people started talking to them, I see that there's different severities of it. So you can't really kind of say what to do with one person, if every situation's different. But I say it's best, to, kind of just let them learn everything, be patient, and just let them learn everything at their own pace, and just let them come up with the ideas, and then you just try to help them pursue them ideas.
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. I know that for our community, we have so many different types of arthrogryposis, and everybody presents differently. So it's really hard to say if surgery is going to work or if they're going to have successful results. So that's always, I guess a way for families. Like the support groups are so huge because parents are reaching out to the adults with AMC to figure out what have you had done, what has worked for you, and I know that for some surgery is just not the option,
Right.
and the parents just decided not to because of XYZ. But I
Right.
also do know that for some, it makes a difference in their lives, as far as, if they're walking or if they're ambulatory in some way, or if they're able to transfer out of their wheelchair. So yeah, I think that we as parents, I'm a parent of an AMCer, we have to make those really, really tough decisions on whether or not to have surgery. And it's tough. And we really rely on our adult community to give us that information. Like what did your parents do? Especially in, what did you say? You're a 90s baby, right? So many
Yeah.
different.
I'll be 30 in November. So,
Right.
which, speaking of, I think I was talking to, I'm good friends, with Princess Anna and her Nana. And we were talking about surgeries and stuff. And I was like, honestly, I'm sure that technology, with surgeries and everything is way more advanced, 30 years later now compared to whenever I was a child. So it's like I said, you can't really, for one, you don't want to tell other parents or other people what to do with their kids. That's like a big no. Everybody knows that. But it's,
Right.
like we said, like we talked about, every situation's different. So you can't really give an opinion on, you can give an opinion on what you might think, but unless you're in that situation, you don't really know what's going to be best. And honestly, nobody really does until just if you sometimes you just have to take that risk and get that surgery or don't get that surgery. I know that whenever I was a baby, to the best of my knowledge, I know that I did have surgery on my wrist because my hands were basically like folded under and they like cut the tendons in it or whatever, and now they're just stiff. And I get that that's actually been beneficial to me because it helps me be able to grab things or, whatever. So, I mean, I think every situation is just different. So that's why I said that, I think it's best to just let people with physical disabilities, they're so damn determined to figure things out. And especially at least I know I was, and as a kid, I wanted to be able to go outside and play and with my cousins and my siblings, and I figured it out. And I did have family that told me, like you're gonna figure it out one way or the other. I wasn't really, like I said, I was never in special classes. I did have, like physical therapists that would come to my school like once every like 3 months, but I didn't really do anything other than they got me on a walker, and that's how I started walking. But everything else I pretty much taught myself. So, and it's hard to say, but I don't believe in like coddling and things like that, even with people that have disabilities, because we're the most like mentally determined people, and we don't want to be coddled. We want to be able to be like, hey, help us figure this out. I just feel like if you're too easy about it, it just kind of limits that person's ability to learn and want to figure things out for themselves, whether it's disability or not. That's kind of more of like a mental thing. If you help somebody with everything, they're never going to learn anything. So you kind of have to leave some challenges to them to figure out on their own. Obviously, some cases are more severe than others, so there are people that need full-fledged help, but every situation's different, so it just depends.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did you have any challenges in your school setting? Like, did your mom have to fight school for, accessibility for you, or?
Man, that was so long ago. I don't remember. I don't think so. I mean, people are usually blown away by this, but like I was pretty popular in school. I hung out with all the football players. I was never bullied. I was never picked on. I was never bullied. I think it's because I just have that kind of approachable personality, and I'll be friends with anybody. I'll talk to anybody. So I would always be the one to speak up first, before anyone could try to, think that I'm weak and that they're going to pick on me. But that's one of the biggest things I try to vouch for is, like I was saying, is I want to help these kids that are different like me. I want to help them to feel better about themselves. And sorry, I'm getting off topic or going.
No, it's totally fine. Nope, you're totally fine.
I don't think I ever really had any special accommodations really within the school. I would just make friends, and they would help me put my schoolwork in my backpack and help me put my backpack on or carry it to the next class for me, so I kind of just had a system with friends. And that's I didn't have like a special person that came and sat in class with me and did everything for me or anything like that. So
you go ahead and talk about just if we have, I mean, gosh, I can't even tell you how many times my daughter has been bullied in school, and I know that she has always been very confident about advocating for herself and also shutting down the bullies. But if you have any message for any other AMCer that's watching, or parents that have children with AMC that might be going through some challenging times in the school setting, as far as that, how would you just let them know to just be themselves and be loud and proud about their AMC?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it takes a while to get to that confidence level. But I mean, when you're a kid, you don't really know any different. I mean, like, your frontal lobe doesn't even fully develop until you're like 20, 24, 25. I mean,
Right.
it's a lot of people try to use that as an excuse or whatever, but I think that for kids, I think that it's important, like you said, just be yourself, try to be yourself, understand, even still to this day, I could walk out of my apartment right now and go where there's a bunch of people and I'm going to get stared at. Whether it's because they know me from social media or because they see I look different, and I can usually sense the difference. But I'm not going to change who I am. I mean, you were born how you're born. You can't change it. So you have to learn to be comfortable with it. Probably going to make a couple people mad that are watching when I say this, but people need to bring back spanking their kids, disciplining their kids, and that's why these kids think that it's okay to go out and make fun of other kids with disabilities and stuff. Like, whether I had a disability or not, if I ever did that, yeah, that wouldn't have ended very well for me with my parents. The world's gone soft, and everybody's their kid's best friend instead of their parent. So then they let them go out to school, and then they wonder why am I getting calls that my kids are bullying these special needs kids at school? And it's like, well, because you're not doing anything about it at home. I mean, sorry if that offends anybody, but it's just the truth. These kids aren't disciplined anymore. And so they think that how they get away with murder at home, so they think they can do it at school too. And nobody's being taught how to be nice and caring. And when I was in school, I got, people stared at me, but I made a lot of friends that would stick up for me if anybody stared at me the wrong way, or, things like that. And I'm not a confrontational person. But there has been times that I will put people in their place when they're staring at me, and, it blows their mind because I'm the one that says something to them. And then they're just like, what? Oh, I didn't do anything, whatever. Like, yeah, exactly what you were doing. But, they're expecting my friends or my family to stick up for me. They don't expect it coming from this person. But as far as kids in school, I mean, honestly, just be yourself. Sorry, but the truth is, for the rest of your life, you're going to have people that are going to be ugly to you. They're going to stare, they're going to say things, and just know that you're the bigger person, because you're learning the right way and they're learning the wrong way. So, I always say, and my family always says, that people that are like that, they hate something about themselves, so they take it out on other people, because they don't know how to, deal with it within themselves. So they lash out on other people to, it's kind of like the whole narcissistic people thing. They're going to bully other people to feel better about themselves, and that's just the way of the world, unfortunately. And I think it's important just to stick to who you are, find who you want to be, and be the best version of yourself. And a big pointer I would be is, if you see someone staring at you, especially in school, walk right up to them, say, "Hi, how are you?" and introduce your name. Say who you are. Most of the time, they're just going to shut down because they're not expecting that. But I promise you, if you do something like that, 9 times out of 10, you're never going to have another issue with that person.
Right.
And there's also a lot of kids. I'm not saying every kid is bad or that they need to be disciplined at home. There's also a lot of kids that you don't know what they're dealing with at home, and you don't know what they're being taught or what they're not being taught, and they don't know any different. But there's a lot of kids that do know right from wrong. So it's kind of just hit or miss. And I mean, it's just, as far as the kids with disabilities, like I said, I know I'm being repetitive, but just be true to who you are and be confident in who you are. And if someone's staring at you, say hi to them. I used to do that. If they would stare at me, I'd say, well, you want to take a picture with me or what? And, they'd usually just kind of look at me and then walk off. Never had to deal with them again. Never had another issue. So
do you get that a lot now, Ryan, that you're famous? Do you get
yeah,
people stopping you on the street?
it's so weird because I can go into a big crowd. If I go out to the bars with my friends or whatever, I might get noticed by 1 or 2 people, but I can go down to Walmart and there's 5 people that will notice me. And it's super weird. But, like I said, I can sense the difference when somebody's staring because they're curious or they're staring because they're trying to be rude. And which obviously a lot of you probably have that, built into you as well. You can sense that. And it's I've had people that come up to me and they'll start feeling on my hands, especially a lot of girls or whatever, not in a naughty way, but they'll be like, "Can you feel this?" Just out of curiosity. And I'm like, "Why are you touching me?" You don't just walk up to someone and start filling up on them and touching them. I don't like that. But if somebody treat me like a human, treat me like a person. Walk, hey, what is your name? How are you doing today? And then, if you don't mind me asking, were you just born this way? Or I'm going to be much more respectful to you and explain my situation, my disability to you if you approach me like a respectable person.
Yeah.
But I've had people that'll come up to me and they'll just be like, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's just rude. So,
Exactly.
it's,
I think the kids are easier to respond to because they're just curious for about 2.2 seconds and then they're good after that.
the sad part is I'm almost 30 years old, and the sad part of this is there are more people who are like grown ass adults, excuse my language, that stare more than it is kids. That's the sad part. That it's always more adults than it is kids, and it's like, okay, the kids are staring because they're curious. They don't understand,
Right.
but full-blown adults doing it to me is just absolutely ridiculous. But I think that you get to a point in your life, especially if you have, AMC or no matter what kind of disability that you have, that you kind of just get that confidence of, I don't give a crap what people think about me. I am who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. I can't change it, so I make the best of it. And I've been in a lot of bad relationships, a lot of bad friendships, and I'm very, if you don't want to be in my life, okay, don't care. I'm not going to beg anyone to be my friend, my girlfriend, my wife, nothing. I mean, if, just for example, like if somebody, wants to play games or whatever, whether it's a friend or a relationship, I'm not doing it, because I'm confident in who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. I know what I have to offer. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but I won't accept anything less than what I deserve or what I'm willing to give to somebody else. And I think that goes very far with relationships, friendships, especially with having a disability, because there's I get a lot of, women and stuff that message me, you're so handsome and, blah, blah, blah. And, a lot of it's just, they see I have the number next to how many followers I have. And it's like, you don't really want to know Ryan. You just want to be able to say, hey, I know him. I've talked to him before and he's famous, whatever. And I'm not with the whole like shallow thing. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I want to be treated as an equal. So I try to just remind myself of that so that I can be better coming from myself and how I treat others. I want to treat them equal as they treat me equal. Kind of practice what you preach. I know I'm not trying to sound arrogant with anything that I'm saying, but I'm a very headstrong person, and I'm very set in my ways and very comfortable with who I am. So I expect the same respect that I'm willing to give to others.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that you speak of it as friendships and relationships because it definitely goes hand in hand. I know that adult friendships are even challenging these days. So,
Absolutely.
so add in a couple more, factors. You're TikTok famous, social media content creator. And yeah, I do. I've seen some of the women on your in the comments constantly.
Yeah.
Handsome. So the hot question is, are you single, Brian? Are you married?
I'm very simple.
Okay, ladies.
Like I was saying, I speak about this a lot. Sometimes even in my videos, I feel like we live in a world where a lot of things have been ruined by social media, because it kind of sets this expectation or this standard. Like, if you're this girl, like, oh, you need to dress this way or look this way, and if you're this guy, you need to look this way or dress this way because look at the attention that it's getting this person. And so many people are so caught up in trying to be like everybody else and doing what everybody else is doing that they're not doing it for themselves. They're not spending the time that you spend trying to be like other people. If you use that time to put it into yourself, you'd be a much happier person. And when it comes to dating, I just always find the same thing. People act like they're real interested and then boom, they just disappear. And it's always just a game. And there are genuine people out there. and it's hard because a lot of us are wired for whatever reason. We don't want what's good for us. We want what we can't have, because it's a challenge, I guess. I don't know why it's like that. So yeah, there's probably quite a few real good girls I could have been with by now, or out of at least one of them I could have been in a good relationship with, but I'm emotionally damaged from past relationships, I guess you could say. So I have a built-in BSer, if you know what I mean. So I see right through people. If I know what it's leading to, then I cut it off before it even gets to that way. But there are genuine women out there. There are genuine men out there. They're just very hard to find these days. It's not like back when our parents were together when we were kids. And, like I said, a lot of it's for social media. People, you can get on your phone and at the tip of your fingers, you can talk to whoever you want to talk to. I remember being in school and I was so excited. If I had a crush on a girl, I'm like, I cannot wait till the weekend's over and I can go back to school and see her. So I feel like I feel like we're all guilty of taking advantage of the fact that of people, of the access that we have to people. It just doesn't mean as much as it used to, because you don't have to write a letter or ask your parents to use the home phone and get to call someone for 10 or 15 minutes, or have to wait, build up the anticipation to see that person. It's just, everything is so convenient to everybody now. And I feel like we take advantage of friendships and relationships. We take people for granted. And I think we're all guilty of that. And, so I feel like it's hard to find an equal balance and really be genuine anymore.
Absolutely. So Aaron was suggesting that we need a Together Tuesday on dating with AMC and have a guy and a girl both on together. So maybe we could have you back, Ryan, and we'll just do an entire episode just on dating and the challenges that come with it. I will say there's nothing better than a handwritten note from somebody that loves you.
Oh, absolutely. A while back, about a year ago, I was talking to a girl that lived in Switzerland, and she flew all the way here to see me, literally from Switzerland. It ended up being a really bad week because I had a terrible upper respiratory infection, but hands down was like the sweetest woman I ever met. And she actually used to send me like letters in the mail. And I just thought that it was so cool and so genuine when somebody sits there and takes the time, whether it's a relationship or friendship or whatever, but somebody taking the time to really think about you and send you letters. I just think I know it's super old fashioned, but I think it's, super cool.
Yes. So a lot of us, I feel like a lot of us that are here tonight, love stuff like that, just old school. Handwritten, it doesn't necessarily have to be love. It could be friendship, right? Like if you guys are, I know it's so easy for all of us to just text, but even now it's so hard, just keeping up with people and checking on your friends and checking on your strong friends, because your strong friends are going through even the ringer these days. Life is really, really challenging right now. And so, yeah, I think extending that beyond just the text messaging and let's go back to phone calls, like genuine phone calls and old school communication.
That's what I was saying too, is that it's the way that the social media, the way that the world has evolved so much is, people take advantage of those things. And, people, this world's really bad, especially people my age in their 20s. They like to say one thing but do another. They're going to tell you what you want to hear, but their actions are going to show the opposite. So they're not living up to their word. And, that's what makes it hard to have relationships and friendships, is because you just can't trust anybody. And it's like everything just always ends the same way. And I know that sounds like a super negative way to think about it. And I'm not saying that everybody's crappy, but a majority of people are. I've been on both ends of it. I've been a crappy person to other people myself. I think that everyone is a learning experience, and everybody's trying to get through it and figure out who they are. And everyone's guilty of it. And I think that it's just hard to find genuine connections with people. And like I said, it's hard to appreciate anybody if you just have full access to them and you get to talk to them all the time. There's no anticipation you know, you're with your boyfriend or girlfriend, something starts going wrong, you get on social media and you see some other hot guy or hot girl, and you know, you just go off and start talking to them. You know, everybody thinks, there's a saying, everybody thinks the grass is greener on the other side, but you know, your grass would be green if you'd water it, you know. And it's, you know, people are just, this world's really bad about being unappreciative of what we have. And I think to a certain extent, like I said, I know I'm being repetitive, but I think that we're all a little bit guilty of it when it comes to certain situations. So I think, you know, every night when I pray, you know, I pray to God to help make me a better man, help me have more patience, more understanding, learn how to grow with myself and be happy with myself, and be able to, you know, give that to somebody else one day as well.
Absolutely. I love that. So we have about 10 minutes left. If anybody on Facebook Live has any questions for Ryan, or if anybody here wants to talk to Ryan, please do so. Go ahead, Chris.
So watching your video, have you figured out how to use a fork and spoon on your own? Or do you get down into the mouth? Because I'm like physically looking at you, like I think we are really a lot alike. And I know several years ago I figured out how to use a fork and a spoon.
I can use one. It depends on what I'm eating. If it's something you really have to stab that's super hard, then no, I don't even try. Well, I'll be completely honest. Like I said in that Born Different video, I just gave up and I just eat like a dog because I don't care. I mean, I do what's easiest for me. But I know when I was a kid, my parents, they took me to Scottish Rite, and I had these special forks and spoons that would hook on my toes, and I would lean over, like they would put me in the floor with a plate. Obviously, my legs are way too long now to do that. But they make like those little trim things that you can put around the plate so you can like scoop your food against it, you know, and it makes it a little bit easier. I'm sure they have better advanced stuff now. I know they have like little robotic arms that'll like you lock a fork into it and it'll get your food on it and it'll put it up to your mouth or whatever, which I'm sure they're like thousands of dollars, but
yeah, 13,000.
Yeah. What works easiest for me is literally, you know, obviously saying eating like a dog's not probably the appropriate way to explain it, but it is what it is. I'll just bend over and eat my food.
Right.
It makes it difficult. You know, that's probably one of my biggest insecurities. If I'm insecure about anything, it's, you know, if I meet a new woman and I'm, you know, interested in her, I'm attracted to her, I want to get to know her, is I try to avoid going to eat. Because I don't want to eat like that, you know, but that's really probably my only insecurity. But yes, to answer your question, sorry, soft stuff like oatmeal or mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese, stuff like that, I'm able to put it in between my hands if I really truly wanted to. Most of the time I'm just lazy, but if I really wanted to, I could scoop it and then bend over and bite it. So.
And Chris, you just, how long ago did you learn to use the utensils?
I was in college.
Okay.
My dad had a feeding device that he had, but college was so much more faster paced. So by set up, like everyone was like halfway done eating, and I was like, oh my word! So I just stopped doing it and figured it out on the fly. Like, okay, I'm gonna pick up my fork or my spoon and away I'm. But I'm similar, like, so I mean, I eat a lot of things too directly like a dog, and but then two other things I do use a fork and spoon. I think there's a video of me eating a hamburger. I think cutting it and eating. So I think somewhere there's a video of me doing that, which gives an idea. And then I think on YouTube, fruit salad. There's a video of me cutting a fruit salad, I think, working with it with my mouth as well, using utensils and stuff.
Hey, I just want to tell you, be careful posting any videos eating with just your mouth, because some people find it quite fascinating. if you eat with your mouth like that. So
Yes.
just let you know. Just let you know. I've seen the comments.
So there's a separate audience for that.
Yeah.
That's not
Sorry.
necessarily a bad thing, but okay.
So
Sorry. I'm a character.
I guess another thing, have you adapted your house a lot for yourself, or, or like what are things like around your house that you have helped you live
If you can kind of see right here behind me, I have like a shelf that my Nana put together. It's actually meant for like clothes and stuff. But we basically put like bowls and plates and food and stuff on it so that I'm able to reach it. As far as like when I first moved in here, or before I moved into my apartment, I told them, because they were like, "Do you need any special accommodations?" And I said, "Yes, I need handles on every single door in that apartment. I need handles." So that's really the only accommodation as far as having the handles, because I hook onto those to take my shirt on and off. I also wanted to tell everybody that I saw a video. One of my friends mentioned being in it, and I didn't even know that the girl and her husband followed me, but they have a son that he doesn't have any arms. And they demonstrated a video of a thing that they got, and his dad installed it in the shower. And it's like a big, well, not real big. It's probably about the size of like a football, but it's like a square, like scrubber or sponge type thing, but it's on like a roller, so you can adjust it up and down. You can put it up, or you can use your chin or whatever, or sling your arms on top of it to push it down. And it has a dispenser on it. You can put soap in it, and it has like a motion detector, and you put your hand in front of it, and it'll put out soap. So that way you can scrub your head against it. You can turn around and get your back and everything like that. And I was trying to find it, and they have it on Amazon for $20. So I'm about to, as soon as I get paid, I'm about to get one and try it out. So I'll let everybody know how that goes. But just wanted, I know that's off topic, but as far as like with our disabilities, I just wanted to let everybody know about that if you want to look into it. Because the shower is difficult. That is one thing I haven't talked about. The shower is kind of difficult. Sometimes my son takes showers with me, so he'll help me scrub my head and stuff like that. That makes it easier sometimes. But as far as trying to do it by myself, I really want to look into getting that thing, because I feel like for all of us, really, it would be beneficial as far as for those of us that can't raise our arms, up any higher than this, to go above our head. Like when I did a chiropractor show on TLC, and the chiropractor, I don't know if anyone ever saw that, but she was like, "You have like the strongest neck muscles I've ever seen in my life." And she was like, "Do you use your head a lot?" And I was like, "Yes, like I use my neck, my mouth, everything to be able to, pump shampoo or pick things up." And, so anyways, I think that I have to use my head a lot. I usually pump the soap onto the shower wall, and then I just kind of scrub my head against it. But I think that if anybody wants to get that thing off of Amazon, shoot me a message and I'll send you the link to it if you think that you could benefit from it. I haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna try it as soon as I get paid from my job. I'm gonna order one. They're like $20 on Amazon, but I think that they will really help in the shower, as far as being able to actually get your body clean and get your head clean. So yeah, sorry, just wanted to say that.
No, you're good. Send us that link, Ryan, and we'll post it along with the other links. I think Ted might have done all your socials already on our Facebook
I
Live.
did,
So
yep. I shared the
okay, cool.
socials.
Yeah, send us that link, and we'll also share that with our community. All right, I'm gonna drop for tonight together Tuesday. This is my bathtub.
Shit.
Yes. All right, you guys. All right, our winner tonight is Cheney. I don't know if she's still here. She was on earlier, so
What did she win?
Cheney.
Amy?
So she wins some swag from our store, which is exciting. We do a drawing every Together Tuesday for our community members to attend.
Oh, awesome.
Facebook or they come and join us on Zoom. So Together Tuesday next week, we have a special guest, and her name is Erin. She is on the board of directors for AMCSI, and she also has a career with Social Security. So interesting topic. And I know a lot of our EMC family will probably have lots of questions for her. So tune in to talk with Erin next week. Super, super excited. Ryan, thank you so much. It's the 10 o'clock hour and we have to sign off, unfortunately, but we would love to have you back, maybe possibly for a dating episode that Erin had brought up.
Awesome. Only if Melissa joins, then
Only if
Oh,
Melissa.
there it is, Melissa.
Okay, if Melissa joins, we got it. We got it. Awesome. Excited.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yes. Anytime, Ryan. Anytime. So,
Awesome.
all right. So we'll definitely be in touch about a dating episode as long as Melissa's
Absolutely.
there.
We'll get Melissa on board. We'll get you guys back on here, no doubt.
Sounds good.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Ted, shut us down.
Well, we want to
Take care.
want to thank everybody again for joining us tonight. Ryan, it was awesome listening to the advice and the topics that you talked about.
Words of wisdom.
Words
for
of wisdom.
sure.
That's what it is. I'm losing my words tonight. That's how much that's why I was so quiet, because it was very, very good to listen to. Again, thank you for joining us, and be safe and be strong, people. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night.
Take care.
Good night.
All right.
Much
Bye-bye.
love, everyone. Later.
You're